There's no way. It's way too much damage. Stop him with the block! He fell Churchill!
Oh, and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh,
And he gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this seed.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every seed
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
All right, welcome everybody. Today we are back with the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament, which is taking place in 2021 during our second week of the preliminary round. And indeed, we have a free-for-all going on today between a good number of participants. I believe the last I checked was 16 entrants for today. But that being said, we are going to be showcasing off two runners in particular here, which are going to be Xemsys versus Infinite. I'm Covert Muffin, and I'm going to be joined on comms by 2Kill. 2Kill, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm excited for this race. This is going to be a great one. Both of our runners are excellent players. Sam just recently got a first place in a recent seed. He's also, well, he's mostly played casual randomizer, only picked up like the faster part of randomizer recently, but he's definitely nailing it. He's also, just like I think everyone at this point, hoping for a seed that could turn into a quicker seed where a lot of the focus will be on execution instead of finding that one-off pickup scattered around the world that you need for progression. And yeah, he says that he's excited for the latter part for of the race specifically, as this will be focusing on those execution things and instead of like finding that first pickup. And he also said previously that his nerves will play a role in the first part of the seed, but I'm sure he will get over it and we will see a great race against Infinite. So you want to talk a bit about Infinite here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is just such a treat today, folks. Like, both of these runners are top runners in the community for the randomizer, and top contenders too for the randomizer tournament itself. Infinite in particular is really hoping for a jet seed, but not grenade bash, just simply because that they prefer to play on controller, and that does lose a few minutes over keyboard and mouse. But Infinite also showing off their style with being able to use keyboard and mouse in those situations, as well as for a few other glitches that using a mouse cursor and the keyboard is a little bit easier to do mechanically. They went into prelims with looking for a top place, but maybe they're just a little bit more focused on brackets now and just getting in a good number of prelim seeds to benchmark themselves against the community. And they also do suffer from nerves, so we might see some little execution blips, but that's totally okay. I am certain that both of these runners are going to put on a good show for us today. But that being said, 2Kill, tell me, is there a particular opening for the seed that you are hoping for?
Well, I'm always hoping for dash starts. I just like Ori going zoom into a seed and just obliterating enemies, obliterating the places Ori goes to. So that is what I'm hoping for. It also will make traversal just much more quicker and much more fun to watch. What are you hoping for here?
Well, I'm also hoping for a dash start. I love it. And here we are. The race is underway. We're going to see Xemsys over on the left, while Infinite, he is going to be featured on the right-hand side of your screen. Underneath the gameplay windows are going to be trackers that are automatically going to update as our runners go through the seed, showcasing off things like skills as well as skill locations that they actually end up activating, as this is an item randomizer, so we are not guaranteed to get those skills at those skill locations.
Yeah, and as our first pickup, we saw a health cell, which is not a skill, but definitely something nice to see early on, as it will give you a fourth health that can very well mean the difference between a death and a close escape of an enemy. So that will be a very welcome. Infinite spamming that good luck on your render. We'll see shortly that he got that. And on the other hand, a keystone that could lead to a very traditional opening further heading into Sunken Glades here. While we pick up the second non-randomized pickup in the randomizer. This is Sign, our little companion who can fight enemies and therefore isn't randomized, as it would just be terrible to fight without Sign.
Yeah, that would be rough for sure. So there's 2 more pickups currently in the logic. We are going to check them. Most likely it's going to be a keystone, a skill, or a waypoint that they're going to be teleporting to just open up some additional pickups. But we will see how that's going momentarily. As first it looks like Infinite is going to reach the pickup, and we will see an ability cell. So progression must be on this last pickup, just past this last slime. With Infinite maybe like a second or two in the lead, but this is going to shift drastically as our runners end up splitting up. And sure enough, it's a 2 keystone start, 4 more pickups, and no other skills to speak of yet, as we get a nice, comfy, warm start as they do the poison water check.
Yeah, I think both will be laughing at this point. This is a not in logic pickup, and Warmth Returned is basically the last thing you pick up in the normal game right when you start the final escape, which is completely, utterly useless. It's even more useless than the 1 XP we could see in the seed.
Yeah, for sure. Infinite just moving through. Both runners are going to be completely thorough at this point, watching a small little cutscene that says, hey, this is a map pedestal. And sure enough, for the randomizer itself, whenever we turn in a map stone, we do get a pickup. But look at this, 2 keystones that's going to open the entrance to Spirit Caverns, and we could see a Bash start. This is going to be really amazing if we do actually find Bash, especially in the hands of runners like Infinite and Xem. And so there's 2 more pickups in logic. Oh, there's Grenade. Okay, that opens 1 more pickup in logic. Come on. Let's see it. Give me the Bash Grenade start.
Well, for Infinite's sake, let's hope it's not a Bash Grenade, as he would need to switch over to keyboard mouse for that, as handling Bash Grenades with controller can be quite difficult, but they are both heading to our first tree. What importance do trees have in that kind of randomizer we're seeing today?
The really fascinating thing about the randomizer, as we see the pickup 4 progression is going to be underneath Sea Flame Tree, is that to make the randomizer more interesting, we actually added on various constraints, which we like to call goal modes. And so for this goal mode in particular, it's known as Force Trees, which requires everybody to go to every single skill location and activate it. What is this? Over on the right, Infinite is trying to do a glitch. Check this out. And he's going to be pausing the screen in order to cause the shots to accelerate. And he gets Ori up there. What the heck? I've never seen that before. That is absolutely insane. He's going to get this check, which is health regen, while on the left, Xemsys does find the first bit of progression, which is going to be wall jump as the form of wall interaction. So Infinite is going to be giving a sigh of relief, as Bash is not yet found.
Well, that is maybe not the part of wall interaction they would have been looked for, because as they have Grenade, that is 1/3 of a trick called Grenade Jumps, which is just a very fast trick to go around the world. But that would require climb instead of wall jump. But a wall jump being the easier thing to navigate through Nibel, as it allows you to jump off of walls instead of just falling from a wall, which will make things a little bit awkward. But with wall jump, they are now readily equipped to head through the rest of the glades. And we see Xemsys on the left going for this, opening the 2 keystone door and checking those. I think all 4 pickups are in logic. There is an ability cell that is not reachable, I believe. But so far, we will see what these hold as Xemsys goes through them first. On the right, we actually see Infinite going for Blackroot Burrows. This is an area right to the right below spawn that also holds some pickups and also one of the skill trees, so it is a requirement to go there.
Yeah, this is a really interesting sort of divergence in route, especially this early in the seed, where Infinite is making the play saying that, yeah, Blackroot Burrows is a low pickup dense area, but it's not that much slower or faster depending on what sort of skills you have. Like, even if you have like optimal go mode skills, it doesn't really save too much time in Blackroot Burrows compared to just working through with a base set like wall jump and grenade. So Infinite making direct progress to the constraint that is stopping them from being able to finish out the seed while checking some pickups along the way. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, Xemsys over in Glades is going to be continuing his checks.
Yeah, he didn't find anything useful in those 4 keystones, so he decided to not keep the XP he got there. He's now getting his first mapstone, and mapstones in this mode particularly are progressive, as in the first mapstone will always give you the same thing regardless of where you turn it in, so we will see momentarily if that first mapstone holds something, some kind of progression for him, and it's just another keystone.
All right, but I do believe that puts the right side of the map in logic with these keystones, which is kind of insane now. So it makes it very, very unlikely that we'll actually end up finding something in Blackroot Burrows that is going to help us. But it still could happen because this is a randomizer. And wow, on the right, Infinite finds Bash. That is huge. Oh my goodness. That is like one of the most important skills to have found. And this is unfortunate for Infinite because he does not want to utilize Bash Grenade in this seed, but it's going to allow him to be able to get up to this lever. Nice sequence break on the right to skip using some platforms going through. But do you want to tell us a little bit why Bash is so insane to kill for the randomizer?
Yeah, sure. Bash is basically an ability that grants you a lot of movement around the world. You can basically take any enemy or projectile and bash off of it, no matter where it is. Well, it has to be in a certain region around you. And especially with Grenade, that opens up a lot. And in the randomizer itself, on the right, we found Infinite seeing the water vein now. So that is one of the dungeon keys that is necessary. But back to Bash, it has been made easier to just double bash a shot where you can take the shot with you. Normally, the shot would go in the opposite direction of you, but in the randomizer, there is a key. You can set a key to easily do double bashes to just take the shot with you to basically infinitely often take it with you. And that will open up a lot of tricks that both of our runners should be comfortable doing, and that will be great to see.
Yeah, for sure, because it cannot be stated enough how talented and experienced both of these runners are with the randomizer. And so I'm really excited to see some Bash shenanigans as Infinite on the right goes down to Boulder Escape. And really quickly want to touch back on that water vein find as we're going to see Xemsys coming across that after finding Bash themselves, where water vein was gated by the crushers to the right of the dash tree itself. And so those crushers, in order to get that pickup, the logic will only ever consider that you would have dash to be able to get that pickup. It believes that there is no other way to be able to do that. So that means that water vein was gated by dash. So this could mean one of two things. Either dash is going to come up really early in the seed, and then bash grenade in Ginso tree is going to be the expected play. Or it could be that dash is in an absolutely awful place, and Ginso is not going to have anything important. So how early one of our runners does go into Ginso is going to tell us potentially where dash is hidden on the map. As on the right, Infinite is going to end up breaking these boulders with this Frankie, but also stomps a peg, giving them direct access to Moon Grotto, which is really, really nice play.
And there's the second dungeon key. This is the Gumon seal, which opens the second dungeon of the game, which we will most likely not see from our runners. It doesn't hold any skill tree nor the final escape, so it isn't mandatory to go there, and it is, generally speaking, relatively slow, doesn't have too many pickups, so unless they might be looking for some hints, for some skills which we might need, they won't take that Gumon seal very, very seriously. On the left, Xemsys now is also finding his water vein. He's close behind Infinite, and he has the advantage of knowing that the left glades didn't hold anything useful. So that lead that Infinite currently holds definitely isn't a true lead, as Xemsys has some more knowledge right now. On the left, we are also seeing Infinite getting some blue plants here with the grenade. This is a viable option to get those. So he's checking a lot of the grotto pickups. With that bash grenade especially, he can make a lot of leeway. As you can see, he gets very far up, just throwing 2 grenades and bashing off of both of them. One important fact about grenades in that context is that you can't double bash grenades, as they will not allow you to do so. So, in order to get further up with grenades, you actually need to throw more than one. However, the randomizer made them free to use. In the base game, they would cost blue energy to use. That has been removed for the sake of getting further in the randomizer and not getting stuck somewhere.
All right. Well, Infinite on the right, doing a very thorough job of clearing out the left side of Grotto. Definitely looking not to get randoed here, which basically means that you skip a certain section and it has something crucial. And doing a really nice save drop here, quitting on reloading after saving the game by leveling up that ability is going to allow them to drop down. That is quite a bit more difficult for it. And opting to use the lever in order to be able to backtrack out here instead of altaring and teleporting back to Blackroot. So very nice play as Xemsys on the left also did the stomp trick to be able to get into Grotto. And we are going to see on the right if these pickups are important. Nope, not quite much of anything, as Infinite is going to continue his way through Grotto.
Yeah, on the left we're just seeing Xemsys trail after Infinite, as Infinite is now heading to some other parts. Also now finds the Gumonsil on the left. Yeah, probably not very excited to see that either, because it's for now completely useless. As Infinite is heading to his first map, Pedestral, since he didn't turn it in the Sunken Glades. Also now gets the clue that the first mapstone doesn't hold anything useful. Xemsys on the left picked up another mapstone, could turn that in directly, so maybe there is something important on the second one. We will see as he, for now, trails through the left side of Lower Grotto. And Infinite on the right is deciding to do this tedious mini-boss that grants one extra pickup with this keystone. And if that holds something important, it will be interesting to see whether Sam decides to do that mini-boss as well. It's just an ability cell, so nothing too worth the time, but, well, ability cells are always nice to have still.
Yeah, for sure. And like this many early ability cells could also be a prelude that dashes somewhere early on the map. So we're going to see how our runners end up using that information to be able to hedge their bets on where to maybe dig. As wow, nice pickup from Infinite if they do actually end up finding Glide. When restored is very, very useful for the left side of the map for easy access into Sorrow Pass. But that being said, Zem making the play to also do a save drop here. So Infinite not losing any time from doing that check early. Maybe Infinite has been studying their opponent or vice versa from our runners. And wow, on the left, Xemsys is able to not even have to do a save anywhere, just floating down with the block and is going to backload immediately. That is such a huge advantage because now Xemsys does not have to deactivate the lasers using the lever. Just after checking those pickups, just goes ahead and backloads. Very, very impressive stuff coming out from Xemsys on the left.
On the right side, we can now see Infinite heading for his third tree, and that tree in particular will give him a hint on where one of the dungeon keys is. As he already has to, the only useful hint would be the Sunstone clue. Of course, he doesn't get the Sunstone clue. Oh, it actually already was his fourth tree, never mind me. But with that, he will be maybe making his way to some more trees to get that Sunstone hint early, or he will dig some deeper. They don't have a huge set of skills yet. Although Bash Grenade is very strong, it doesn't allow you access to everything.
Yeah, kind of interesting play here from Infinite. I wonder if they actually just ended up forgetting that maybe they hadn't finished out checking stuff in Glades. And so I wonder if there's going to come a point in the race where Infinite's going to want to go back all the way to Glades in order to check those pickups. Because they could contain something important and they came into logic really early. But Infinite's going to make the play to go to Upper Grotto, which I really like this a lot, just backtracking through here. It's actually a little bit faster in this case to not skip this cutscene for backtracking up because he can bash off of the rocks. But because he has Grenade, he's going to have that verticality anyway. Swapping out of the controller to use keyboard and mouse for this Bash Grenade style. Very nice from Infinite.
Yeah, it has to be noted that normally that would be a sequence where you have to go up while rocks are falling at you, so it might just be a safety precaution to just make sure the rocks don't spawn. just to get that extra safety, a death could always decide a race. And as he's now glitching this bridge to be able to stay on top of it with a save, not even with a save anywhere, just with a regular save, making his way up, probably picking up the teleporter on his way just to get easier access to Upper Grotto as well. And he's checking some more pickups here. Another health cell, always nice to find. And making that one last find will turn out to be a keystone. Nothing too important, as both of our runners have plenty of them. They will come in handy later, as there are a few keystone doors our runners have to go through in order to complete the seed. But with that amount of keystones, I don't think that will be a problem later on.
Wow, and I want to direct your eyes to the left-hand side of the screen. This is a play from Xem to come over to Sea Flame Tree, and we're going to see if Xem opts to actually check some additional stuff. Accidentally alt-Ring there. I think that was not intentional. Or no, maybe going to try and Frankie walk instead of like going up through as Infinite had done. I don't know. We'll see what Xem is looking to do on the left. Meanwhile, on the right, Infinite is actually going to be making the play to come over here towards Thornfelt Swamp proper, which is going to contain another skill location that he has to activate in order to be able to finish out the seed. So Infinite being incredibly thorough for checking these pickups. I do like this because there is a lot of things that our runners could find that would help them with the remainder of the run. And meanwhile, on the left, Xem is going to use this Frankie by luring it over and, oh no, accidentally gets a little stuck on the spikes. No problem. And then coming over here to the energy door is going to put 2 of 4 energy into the door, take a level up after killing the Frankie, which will refill his energy, allowing him to put the remaining 2 energy into the door. But oh no, is short by like 1 or 2 experience, and so now is going to have to do another Frankie walk if they want to open that up. That's very unfortunate from them, but I've done that a million times over.
On the right, however, Infinite just has found Stomp in the swamp entry by he took a frog and basically bashed the shot to open up the ceiling and was rewarded with Stomp. That is one of the pickups that is needed to get access to the left side. They could also have used Bash, and there's the Forlorn teleporter. That could indicate that something important is in Forlorn. With the Gummon seal, Forlorn is now in logic and is easily accessible, so we will see if one of our players decides to go for the play for Forlorn Ruins. As mentioned before, it's a very slow area, not a lot of pickups, and not necessary to go there, so usually people don't need to go there and decide not to. As Infinite is now heading for his next tree, the Stomp tree, and will collect it momentarily. Just another keystone, as on the left, Xemsys is now going through Death Gauntlet.
Okay, I'm wondering here, also to kill, is very fascinating if our runners are able to sort of track that Stomp find and recognize its significance. In this case, Stomp was actually not in logic with how Infinite ended up finding it, which means the only way to get that pickup in logic is by finding Climb and Charge Jump. So that's like kind of insane, because this could mean that our runners end up finding grenade jumps. But also, it like we could just find Dash, Climb, and Charge Jump just all in Ginso. It's like there's a lot of really insane things that could end up happening. So we might hit a moment where there's an inflection in the race, and then people just take off going for the trees directly.
Yeah, Ginso could definitely turn out to be the place to be. However, I don't think we will see our runners hand there just yet, just because Ginso Tree is a fairly linear dungeon in the game, and as there aren't a lot of checkpoints in between, you either have to go to the teleporter, which is almost all the way up, or have to go through the entire dungeon again. And since they don't have the Sunstone clue, this could mean that they have to backtrack if the Sunstone turns out to be in the Ginso tree. On the right, we're seeing Infinite heading to his next tree. I believe that will be his 6th tree, so maybe we will get our Sunstone clue there. And afterwards, Infinite could decide to head to the Ginso tree.
All right, here we go. Indeed, Infinite coming down, going to be activating their next tree, like grenade tree here. Very nicely done. So trees 6 of 10, and yep, Sunstone is going to be gated by the 9th skill location activation. So that is going to be important and may decide how much hesitation, as you mentioned, for going into Ginso. But yeah, there it is. There's charge jump over for Zem, a pickup that I guess Infinite just decided not to check an upper swamp loop, which is very surprising because Infinite has been incredibly thorough coming through. So we indeed are probably going to expect for left side access to be actually gated by something like climb charge jump with Sorrow TP, or to be able to get climb charge jump into that stomp pickup to be able to get access to the left side. This is just absolutely massive for the state of the race, especially for Infinite, who is now going to be coming back and doing their checks over in Glades and potentially just going up and using this bash and stomp to go to the left side of the map.
Yeah, I think Xemsys could actually be heading for Ginso here, as he has the water vein. Puts it in, so that will probably be his next destination to check. With Bash and especially also with Charge Jump, this is an incredibly fast area to check, and it has quite a lot of pickups. We will see if he decides to head further up even after the Bash tree that he needs, just to make sure he doesn't miss the Sunstone and maybe activate the teleporter to come back later. As now he's heading through the rooms of Ginso, finds a mapstone, nothing too useful. As Infinite on the right, there's just so much action going on, is heading into Valley Entry. This is one of the points where you can get to the left side of the map, which also holds some more tree locations, so it is mandatory to get to the left. Is stomping that peg that opens up the way, and we will see if he makes his way further there. This is a doable thing, as Bash is required in that area, kind of, and is the expected skill to go through there, so this is doable. Is double bashing the frog to get up there quickly, is taking a poison swim, just an energy cell. Let's head further up for him.
All right, and so indeed, and so this, what Infinite is doing, is currently not in logic for him, and so it'll be interesting to see if Infinite does sort of key into this and decide to go back over to the right side. But just making progress to the trees is what ultimately will decide how early you're able to finish out a seed. And so we like to call this a tree advantage or a tree vantage, as Infinite is going to be coming over, checking this cell here, and then is going to be progressing towards breaking the rocks. But we are almost certainly not going to end up finding some other power scale on the left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Xemsys found double jump over in Ginso tree. That is such a nice pickup. It's just going to happily augment. And Zem choosing to not continue in Ginso tree. This could be really massive for Infinite if indeed Sunstone is gated in that dungeon.
Also worth noting is that the XP in the Ginso tree was fairly high. The logic kind of places XP according to which step in the logic you are in. So a higher XP could mean that the logic doesn't expect you to be in there quite yet. That could be, maybe Xemsys will notice that, maybe he didn't, but maybe that was one of the reasons he decided to head out and is now making his way to the swamp probably. Yeah, he's charge dashing through that ceiling, throwing some grenades to open up the area to get the water out so he can traverse safely here. And he's heading to the stomp tree. Will probably find Stomp or maybe miss out on it. It's right to the left of him at the moment. Yeah, decides to skip it.
Yeah,
that could be huge.
I can't quite get to Stomp just right now, but it looks like Zem is definitely making a play, saying that I'm going to be skipping some pickups here and there, but I am absolutely going to be making the push for trees now. Meanwhile, Infinite in Lower Valley is going to be checking additional pickups, only is going to find some experience and not much else. And Zem is going to now head up to that Stomp Tree location. And this actually is in logic, I believe, to come up with Bash and Charge Jump. And there is one specific pickup that ended up being missed by Infinite because they simply just did not have Charge Jump when they came here. So over on the left, it is indeed Glide. Oh my goodness, that could be just absolutely massive for the state of the race. That just makes Sorrow Pass much, much easier to get through. So just absolutely unbelievable heads-up play by Xemsys to just be thorough with that charge jump pickup.
Also, the location of Clyde here could probably means that Infinite isn't going back there. It's quite on the offside. There isn't a teleporter nearby, and he has checked the area before, so I don't think he will get back there, which means he won't get Glide here. That could be huge, as traversing Sorrow and Misty without Glide can be quite terrible. There's a lot of spikes, dealing a lot of damage in these areas, and having Glide just allows you to get that installment. And especially with Wintry Sword, we see on the right Infinite has to go for this double bash chain in order to get up into Sorrow, whereas Xemsys later will just have to open that feather he got and just swing across there. This is definitely an advantage Xemsys has over Infinite at the moment.
Okay, and here we go. Definitely have the eyes on the right for this one. Infinite does not have glide, does not have climb, charge, jump. Has to end up breaking this ceiling here. Taking the shot, this is the hard part, getting around this corner. Does get past, but it's not over yet. It is incredibly easy to accidentally hit yourself with this shot in the final one because you'll bonk your head on the ceiling. And Infinite gets up there first try, but does not have glide, and so is going to have to do a series of insanely difficult save anywheres. Oh, just barely a little short there with the grenade bash. And save anywhere on controller is not a fun thing to do. So Infinite just utilizing their advantage by using both input methods, using controller for most of the seed, and now is going to be backing up the save and doing a string of really intense save anywheres. You got this, Infinite.
Yeah, on the left there's also more action. Just this race is loaded with action. On the left, Xemsys just used Frog to stomp the pack, as he does not have stomp yet, so he couldn't get to the left side without that Frog. And I don't think he would have wanted to search for left side access for a long time, so he decided to take that Froggy with him. On the right, Infinite gets through the spikes. Has a lot of ability cells he can spend here in order to keep Ori in that zombie state where he just does die repeatedly.
Gets over there! What a god! Oh my goodness! So, there's something else that is absolutely massive here for Infinite. Infinite actually found Sunstone while they were going through, and I cannot express how insanely difficult this is. No glide, no charge jump, no double jump. And he just busted that out and getting there first try. Just what insane play from Infinite. And activating Charge Jump Tree, that's it. Infinite is done with Sorrow. There's going to be only Misty left for them, and then they're going to be heading over to the final escape. Absolutely unbelievable play from Infinite. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, that was definitely a great show of skill, as Xemsys is now heading to the rocks, stomping, destroying them from the below, as he does not have stomp, and he now gets his tree that isn't actually a tree because it is a feather. The tree advantage is still on Infinite's side, I believe. And now we will see if he decides to go to Misty, which he probably won't, as it is only his 6th tree. He doesn't have the Sunstone clue yet, and Misty, as Ginso, is a fairly linear area. Of course, we know that the Sunstone won't be in Misty as it is in Sorrow, but as Xemsys doesn't know that, he might actually be going to Sorrow, and we see him head up, so that is where he's going exactly. Whereas Infinite is heading to Misty now, is maybe possibly in go mode even with that set of skills. I think the final escape will be quite hard with this, but we will see. He's still checking pickup, so it might not be entirely go mode for him.
Yeah, for sure. And this is, yeah, we'll see how comfortable Infinite is with like a starved escape in this scenario. It'll be interesting to see. A really scary thing here for Infinite actually is that they only have 2 ability cells, and they have no air retention. They have no verticality to speak of outside of Grenade Bash, which just makes this Misty segment so difficult. So every little thing that you're going to be seeing Infinite do is just absolutely incredibly hard. Chaining together multiple grenades to try and get over there without taking damage. Accidentally gets hit by the slime, no problem. Meanwhile, on the left, this is a crucial moment for the race. Does Xemsys check this pickup? He does, and he finds Sunstone. Okay, that is really, really massive. Because if Zem ended up getting the clue that Sunstone was in Sorrow without checking that pickup, it might have been a very, very long time before actually ended up checking in. And yep, nice, very nice Kobe shot there from Xem. Is going to be getting to charge jump tree, hot on Infinite's tail. But Infinite also has done light grenade tree, right? And Xem has not. And that does take over a minute to get to light grenade tree. So this is Infinite's race to lose here if they do decide to end up going for the go mode immediately after climb tree. But we'll see what they actually end up doing. But, oh, yep, getting word that also Infinite actually hasn't done Ginso tree. So there is still a chance for Xem to come back to this. We could see it come down to execution in the final escape.
Yeah, that would be exciting, and in that case, Xem would definitely have the easier escape. Having that charge jump, especially, and the glide, just makes things easier. And with the, I believe he almost skilled Ultra Defense. He might have gotten it already, but that will also allow Xem to take a bit more damage in the final escape. As mentioned before, they haven't found clean water, so they need to take at least 5 damage without Ultra Defense to get through that swim. And it's, yeah, if you have a very limited pool of health points, as they do right now, this can be quite difficult to execute. So we will see how whether Infinite decides to skip more pickups. Oh, okay, never mind. There's clean water on the climb tree. That will shave off some difficulty from the final escape, and I think Infinite will be very happy to see that.
Yeah, that is very, very nice, because we do have to take a damage boost there in the elemental room at the very least, unless they do this setup, which we've all like forgotten about since the last tournament. But Xem just being very thorough here, clearing out through Misty, maybe is looking for something else to be able to help in that final escape, because they also do not have climb, right? They don't have charge flame, they don't have dash. So they are going to have to use damage boosts using charge jump in particular to be able to get through. And I actually don't know if you can house stomp the first 4 in the final escape. So this might actually not be go mode for Xem quite yet. And that could be scary, but finding Valley TP and Misty is going to be a nice sight for them. So they get a little bit of comfort there. Yeah, it's going to actually be showing off that pickup again. Just knowing that going through Valley entry was the right play to get access to the left.
He might have picked up the Valley TP after... Oh, and there's dash! Oh!
Wow!
That is a find Infinite didn't get. And with that clean water, I'm sure that is go mode for Xem here.
Man,
Holy.
that's like whatever lead that Infinite just had is potentially just gone now because of this dash pickup. Not only does it make getting to Light Grenade Tree easier, it makes it faster as well. And so this is it. If Xem has really clean execution here going to Light Grenade Tree, while Infinite has to go up all the way through the vertical dungeon that is Ginso Tree, this could be the deciding factor which decided this race. I can't believe it. This is way too close to call.
Yeah, on the left we see Xemsys has to do this Frankie lurk, as he does not have Stomp to stomp the area to get to the Light Grenade Tree. Infinite could just stomp it when he went there. So he has to very carefully maneuver that Frankie all over this. This Frankie is a very special one, as it does never respawn, and he was very careful to not kill it on the first time he went through here. Gets it through the spikes. It is now breaking the floor, makes a safety save, places a save anywhere to get through the lasers in case... Oh no, actually for the cutscene that will come up, it's like a 70-second cutscene no one ever wants to watch, so we will definitely skip that with a save anywhere exits. Let's see if he got the save anywhere. Yep, and he will head to Light Grenade Tree momentarily, and that will be his last tree, and I'm sure he will head to the final escape afterwards. So let's see how Infinite is doing in Ginso Tree. He's making his way up quickly using the bash grenades. Now has to kill that mini-boss, but with grenades acting as a weapon as well. This shouldn't be a problem. Can stomp on it to deal some extra damage, and is through. Now is heading for the bash tree and will collect it momentarily.
All right, and over on the left, Xemsys is making their way up to the swamp. All that's between Xemsys and finishing out the seed is one final escape. Meanwhile, on the right, we have a little bit of a crisis here for Infinite, because Infinite only has 3 keystones, which means they are going to have to potentially find another keystone in here in the final 4 pickups right before the door, or they will actually have to end up key duping, which is incredibly long-winded and very difficult to do in the Ginso tree itself. But on the left finds finds more experience. That's not what Infinite wants to see. There's 2 more pickups, and this is it. Is Infinite going to have to key dupe? 2 more? Come on, keystone one time. No, finds double jump. That's right, that's there. And it's a map stone. That is the wrong type of stone. So Infinite is going to be happy to see double jump, but is going to have to backtrack all the way back through here in order to set up a save in order to be able to get through that door and get to the skill location, which is gating him from being able to start and finish the final escape. Meanwhile, Xem on the left, going for a frame-perfect trick. This is it. If Xem is going to be able to door warp to wrong warp to the very end of the dungeon and start the final escape, they will be one step closer to be closing out this race. Here we go, Xem.
Yeah, we also saw him leveling Charge Dash, which is an ability where you can dash further and faster using an energy cell. And he's now starting the final escape. We will see whether he gets it first try or how many tries he gets. So let's wish him good luck on that. He should be comfortable doing this. Let's see how he does.
All right, and on the right, Infinite now successfully having done key dupe is going to be coming over. But action on the left. Xem coming through, taking a hit from the Molten Boulder. That's still okay. Has plenty of energy to be able to break these remaining floors. But is he going to use a House Stomp on this one? Yes, very nice recognition that he only had 1 energy. And now, without that energy, he's not going to be able to do fist strats. So that is going to complicate the final room. But that's okay. Has glide, has charge jump, and Infinite finding a keystone on Ginso tree. That's just mean. That's just mean. But yeah, coming over here on the left, Xem is going to be able to get past Kuro. So all that's left for Xem is to be able to get past these Sigma rocks, cross the finish line, and hold right for about a minute. GG, Xemsys takes the win. Well played.
Definitely well played. Infinite now has all the trees as well, is heading to the Swamp Teleporter, so most likely heading to the final escape as well. This just came down to that dash find and the glide find as well here. So good. It was a bit of luck, of course. This is the randomizer. A lot of luck is involved in deciding and routing and just finding the right pickups at the right time. And yeah, worth noting is, as this is a free-for-all, 2 players have finished already this seed. The first player being Sirius Ashling with a time of 35:09. The second player, Cleanfell, with a time of 37:13. And so far, it looks like Xemsys will get that 3rd place in that seed. We will see whether he's happy about that, if he decides to go for an interview. But I'm sure 3rd place is still a pretty good thing, especially with the amount of races we're having today. As on the right, Infinite is now also trying for door warp. Let's see how many tries he needs. Hopefully it will be a first try.
All right. Congratulations to Xem, as time is going to be coming up for them in just under 10 seconds as they are crossing the line. And time for Xem finishing with a 39:15. Congratulations to them on taking 3rd place overall for the free-for-all and also taking a win on the matchup versus Infinite. Well done, as Infinite is able to get through door warp and is now going to be going into the final escape. This final escape is scary. If you look at the tracker right under the screen, you'll notice that pretty much half of the bubbles aren't colored in, which means Infinite does not have those skills, and so is now going to have to go through with grenade, bash, stomp, double jump, and wall jump, and that's it. So this is going to be intense for Infinite.
Yeah, we can also see he's using the mouse at the moment, as doing this with controller would be quite a challenge for sure. He has stomp over Xemsys, so that makes that part of the escape at least easier. He can just bash through this room as it is designed for bash, take another stomp, maybe stomp the lower one as well. Yes, not quite getting it. Does get it now. Is heading for the shots of the elemental to bash off of them, is double bashing them to get a bit more leeway, and is now heading to the next room. Just needs to dive through the fish and get through the final room now. Ooh, almost gets shot by Kuro there, but gets out nicely. Doesn't decide to do fish threat hasn't found dash, so that would not be a possibility. Without C-Jump, has to walk up slowly here, bashes through the last room, and is done. Now he just needs to hold right. GG to him.
Wow, very nicely done. Like, I can't emphasize enough, like, not having glide there really makes it difficult to get past that Kuro cutscene. You not only need to be able to get the height and get to a specific spot, but the cutscene is actually not like a straight line vertically for triggering it. It peaks out a little bit to the left on the lower parts. So just Infinite showing their stuff of how comfortable they are with working through those incredibly tight and precise locations. Definitely a GG from them. That was an incredible final escape, an impressive showcase. And as Infinite finishes up, we are going to see if they would also like to join us for an interview. But we do have Xemsys on deck for that, and we will be pulling both of them in at the same time for an interview section if they both would like to join us.
Yeah, that was definitely a race not to watch, because this has been incredible. On both sides, crazy execution. Infinite with this very hard first try final escape. Excellent stuff we saw here. So this was very exciting to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited, especially to get like both of our runners their perspectives on that seed. Like Infinite, especially like wall jump only, and then with grenade bash doing the save anywhere, zombie Oris and Sorrow. Like, what? That's not something I would do. And so that was just absolutely insane to see. I hope we get the chance to get their thoughts on that, as well as some other stuff for Xemsys, because Infinite had some additional information that Zem didn't have for pertaining towards charge jump and climb in particular. So can't wait to ask them to see how they feel. But yep, as more people are going to be finishing up the seed, it looks like only 4 people done with the seed so far. So that just showcases off how insanely good that Xemsys and Infinite are at the randomizer, as well as how well they executed today. But that being said, 2Kill, it looks like we have both runners on deck for an interview, so we are going to be bringing them in. Infinite and Xemsys, GG on the race.
Thank you.
GG.
All right, so first question over to Infinite, actually. When you found Stomp, you found it in the upper entry into this sort of like swamp proper, right? Using the frog. Did you realize at that moment that that was a sequence break, and so like climb charge jump had to be somewhere on the map? Or were you just focusing on what to do next with that Stomp pickup?
I was just getting trees. I
Yeah.
didn't think about logic at all.
Sure, yeah, that totally makes sense. I really liked your plays of how to push trees. Was there a deciding factor for you, Infinite, when you decided to go to the left side of the map?
Not really. I
Sure.
just saw that I can, so I went there.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. And Xemsys, I will throw one question over to you and then throw it over to 2Kill if she has any questions. So for you, what was sort of the overall decision of when to go into Ginso Tree, right? And then you also ended up alt-Ring at Bash Tree without the Sunstone clue. Were you just taking a risk there, like when you went into Ginso Tree, or were you just completely forgetting that Sunstone hadn't come up as a clue yet?
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So we got that dash locked water in early, right? That
Mhm.
kind of influenced my early game XP routing a lot. But then when I saw the 330 XP in Ginso, I realized Ginso is up super late in logic. So when I got to Bash Tree and found double jump on the way, I kind of just thought, okay, so I'm not gonna get dash early. This is already super late in logic, and I felt behind at that point, so I just went and pushed through with the rest of my trees.
Wow. All right. Fascinating stuff.
So yeah, did that Sunstone find actually then put you in go mode as soon as you saw that you didn't have to dig for it, just finding it on the way to Charge Jump Tree?
I was so close to skipping that pickup, so luckily I didn't. So at that point, I was basically thinking, okay, I don't have my Sunstone Clue yet, so I'm just gonna go get my 9 trees, right? I would have done Grenade Tree before Misty in that case, and activate Sorrow TP on the way. I was kinda in go mode already because I knew I could finish out the seed no matter what it threw at me, and in the worst case, I always had Fawn on Escape for a Stormblock Sunstone, right? But that Sunstone really almost allowed me to fully go mode until I realized I didn't have enough health for the deboosts would have needed to do if I didn't find Dash and Clean Water in Misty.
Yeah, actually, a question to both of you, starting with Xemsys. Clean water at Climb Tree, was that a relief, or were you just already happy to go to the final escape at that point, Xem?
I thought it was mostly funny because the dash find right before was so much more valuable for getting a final escape with less damage. But in the end, my final escape, I would have died to the poison water if I didn't find it. So definitely a good relief to have that.
And Infinite, your thoughts on that?
I think I was in go mode at that point. I think I had enough health to do the swim even without it, so it was nice. A little bit more safety, but I didn't need it.
Muffin, do you have any more questions concerning the seed the two of them faced, or yeah?
Oh yeah, I have like a million questions because this was just such a fascinating scene and fascinating race. But I'll keep it down to 2. So, Infinite, question for you. This has to be a huge highlight of the entire tournament seeds that I've seen so far, and like strats that people have busted out. In Upper Sorrow, with only wall jump and bash grenades, did you practice that? Like, is that just something you're ready to bust out like at any point in time? Where you're like, no, I guess I'll just try and go through with wall jump and a million zombie Oris.
I did practice that with only wall jump you need 9 level ups. And I knew that I have more than that, so I went for it.
That is insane. I was like popping off so hard when I saw that. That was just an unbelievable play. And then question for both of you as we sort of close out. We're coming pretty close to the end of the prelims itself. We are well within the second week, and we only have one more final weekend before we actually end up going into bracket phase. So as we come to close, both of you have finished out enough. Nope. It looks like Xem, you have at least one more to do. Are either of you both planning on doing more seeds after you qualify for brackets, which only requires 5 seeds to be done? Or are you happy overall with sort of your placements? Starting with Xem.
So this was actually my 5th one. This should
It was your 5th.
me at, I think, like 4 point something low points with the seed. I'm definitely gonna do at least one more because I don't know if you watched Saturday's first seed with the Sorrow TP locking the left side of the map somewhere in Lower Swamp. I definitely wasn't happy with that one, so I wanna at least get that off my seed record. But I think afterwards I'm probably gonna be fine with my prelims.
Cool. All right, Infinite, how about you? How are you feeling about your prelims?
I want to improve my score way more. It isn't as good as I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna do some more races and see where I will end up.
All right, for sure. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. I'm definitely a fan of like doing a lot more prelim matches. But 2Kill, do you have one more question before I close out?
No, I'm happy about the seed. Everything has been answered that I was willing to ask. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today, folks. This was the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament. I'm Covert Muffin. 2Kill was joining me on comms. Major thanks to Skullblocka and Banish Cloud for helping assist us with information while that seed was going on, as well as Wilson for restreaming today. Tomorrow, we have more Ori Randomizer Tournament action coming at you. We are going to be showcasing Turtle Guy versus Ernest, and I will be casting that matchup, which will start over on one of the SpeedGaming channels at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I will be joined by Grimelios on comms for that one. But that does it for us today, folks. Have a great rest of your evening, and I hope you have a wonderful tomorrow.